Welcome again, my name is PolishLynx, and this is the sad story of Emmeline Burns. Let's continue, and what is the question that was supposed to be asked? Are you going to a costume party? Eh? Are you referring to this old thing? The dress doesn't look like some old thing. It's expensive, right? I believe it was rather dear when father first purchased it. However, I'm not particularly well versed in the economy, so I could not give you an answer. Father? What kind of girl calls their dad father? Normal girl? I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased because my dad vanished before I was even born. Mom told me he couldn't cope with the commitment, which was quite funny, really, because he had no qualms about commitment when he asked me to sleep with him. What? Oh, okay, her mom told her, okay. I was like, thought that he said that to Toma, okay. Never mind, but father sounds far too dated. And I haven't even touched on the other stuff she said. The girl smiles. Her face remains pale and does not flush, but I can imagine blood coursing beneath her cheeks all the same. She gives the impression of blushing, even though she does not. I suppose most people would use that nowadays. Forgive me, I'm not familiar with such a phrase, and it sounds quite peculiar to me. And the plot thickens. My question was only seemed to invite more questions, and I find myself drawn towards this strange girl despite myself. I want to know who she is. I want to understand her. It must be this feeling, this desperate thirst for hidden knowledge, which encouraged Mom to track down what now remains of Zachary Kendall, Maribel Spencer, Rose Bradford, and the rest. So, I've not seen you around Barrowby before. Do you live here? I have lived here for a very long time. But you don't look much older than me. I'll be 15 years old this December. At least, I should be. So she's 14 too. You say that you've lived here for a long time, but I've never seen you before. You don't go to St. Hugh's, do you? She shakes her head. So what school do you go to? Ruskin, Sandon, not Walton Girls. She shakes her head again. Then, are you homeschooled? That would explain what she's doing in the graveyard at 8:20 on a Friday morning wearing such a strange outfit. She might as well have fled from one of those old-fashioned photography parlor places. Or, there's another explanation, which you probably won't believe, Toma. She might be actually a dead person. Which is quite bad, because she's only 14. Hey, I suppose I was homeschooled, yeah. I have never been to school before. I used to have Ellie, but I have not seen her in some time. Ellie, a private tutor. Something like that, yeah. She was rather strict. She got so angry when I escaped from her stuffy old history lessons and hid over the Linton's estate. She smiles with soft, gentle skin, like an old woman with rheumy eyes might when recalling a fond memory. I don't know if I've ever seen everybody my age pull a face like that before. Just who is this girl? But you don't have a tutor anymore? There wouldn't be much point anymore. Is she one of those YouTube celebrities then? She looks the part in those clothes. I can imagine her as one of those eccentric self-proclaimed living dolls who get thousands of subscribers for eating food on camera. Okay. So, sorry, this is the first question I should have asked. What's your name? Emily. Emily. I think I can remember it. It's enough common name. There are two Emilys in my class. Emily Hargraves and Emily Turner. I don't know if this name fits the girl in front of me for. Emily sounds too simple, somehow, and unfinished too, like a sentence ending without a full stop. I don't investigate any further, however. I hardly know the girl. What right do I have to ask so many questions? And if it would not be too rude, may I inquire as what I should call you? Oh man. Um, um, I should have expected this. When somebody asks for a name, it's only polite to ask for theirs in return. I don't like answering the question, for I never have done. Just, what is my name anyway? It says Toma on my birth certificate, but I can't bring myself to believe that. Not when I was fated before I took my first breath to be called Amelia. Oh my, do not look so troubled. You will make me feel guilty. I'm sorry. Ha, what a funny girl. You don't need to apologize. She thinks I'm funny, does she? This kind of stings, given how peculiar she looks. You do not need to tell me your name if you do not wish to. We all have our own secrets. Are you sure you don't mind? I'm quite sure. I could just make up a name for you instead. Well, I hope you are not adverse to this suggestion. I rather like giving people nicknames. I would always call Miss Warren Ellie. Her first name was Helena. You see, but she got mad at me because of that too. This girl has no manners, she would say. She might have a pretty face, but she behaves like a gutter snipe. Not that I gave a bat on what she thought. Father was paying her enough, so I thought it best to make her work for her wages. She may have found me irritating, but I certainly wasn't worrying. Well, I suppose it's fine. Then, I can think of a name for you? Yeah, it doesn't bother me. Anything could be better than Toma. Well, let me see. Emily looks me up and down, one finger against her lower lip. Her smile is teasing, and her eyes flash mischievously, like a naughty schoolgirl's in an innit, blind story. She'll be thinking about condensed milk and tin sardines next, I'm sure of it. It is true we do not know one another very well, but that is just in the present. I feel that we could become quite close, if given the chance. You remind me of so much of her. After all, can it be a mere coincidence? Her? I thought so from behind too, but when you turned about it came clearer than ever. You have her nose, her eyes, maybe even her forehead too, but it's hard to tell since it's all covered in hair. Well, I look at the ground, suddenly awkward, and dig the tip of my school shoe into the earth. I shift my right foot slightly, making a small indentation in the earth. Immediate grave for an aunt. I don't know if I like being compared to other people. I do that enough myself. Even if I do like one of your friends, I don't think I want their name. I was hoping for a name of my own. Yeah, you don't need to worry about that. I would have never be so close as to dress you in the title of another. I apologize if it seemed that way. She does sound sorry too. Truly sorry. Even if you look like her, you are not her. You couldn't be. It is not possible. A sigh. So, let me see. A name for you. A name that belongs to and only to you. I have it. I think I have it. From now on, you can be Verity. Is there such a name? Verity. Do you like it? It's pretty. Much prettier than my real name. Emily smiles. Her fur is flashing. So, once more, it doesn't reflash. I just imagine that it does. With happiness. So glad. I thought that virtue names might be too anachronistic nowadays, but I truly am fond of them. One of my aunts was called Charity, and my grandmother was Patience. Not that she was particularly patient. She used to hit my father for the smallest of misdemeanors when he was a young boy. But that was a long time ago. Her face darkens, but only for a few moments. At any rate, I'm curious. Why are you in a gloomy place like this at such an hour, when you should be at school? I just like graveyards, I guess. They are relaxing. Relaxing? That is quite a strange thing to say. Why do you think that? I'm not sure. I just like them. They are nice and quiet, and people don't come here much. When they do, they are quiet too. It's the respectful thing to do. Apart from the local boys who tramp about here drunk on Friday nights and piss on the graves and scrawl rude words on them. I glance at a nearby grave, that of an Elijah or Elisha Pharaoh. Somebody has scrawled across the top of it in black marker pen. God is dead. Probably not. It seems we have a Banksy of our own living in Barrowby, who would have thought. And I like thinking of stories too. Stories? Yep, graves are small, and the people buried underneath them are turned into names and dates, nothing more. I think there must be more to these people than that though. What were their parents like? Did they have any siblings? What was their job? Were they happy? What about all the people they met? Whose lives they may have changed, without them even realizing it. I don't know about all those things, I never will. It's fascinating, but at the same time, it's also sad. I blush my hands hanging limply at my sides. Did I say too much? I think I might have said too much. This is why I don't talk to people at school other than Hattie. It's because I'm weird and I know my fellow classmates, Emily Burns and Emily Turner included, would just laugh at me. Well, maybe Amelia wouldn't. Amelia is too nice to laugh at anybody. That's what I think I'm doing. It probably sounds stupid, but no, I think you made some good points. I did? Yeah. Every person has a story, and there's not enough space on a single tombstone to tell it. The sad truth is, there are so many people in this world, it is not possible to remember every single story. As the years go, they fall by the wayside. The dead must always concede to the whims of the living, even in places like this. Amy looks back at Elijah, or Elisha, Pharaoh's grave, decorated with the biting political commentary God is dead, and sighs. I like thinking of stories too. In fact, I could tell you a story of my own. I have been turning it over in my head for quite some time, and I would be intrigued to hear your response. I wouldn't mind. Are you quite sure? I don't want to bore you. I can't remember the last time I wanted to hear what I had to say. No, I'm quite sure. I would love to. There was nothing else I wanted to do here anyway. Nothing other than wonder, trying to avoid thinking about school next Monday, and how much trouble I'll be in when it's discovered. I've been playing truant. I always run away from my problems. I have done ever since I was a child. Oh, teaser for okay. I must have inherited that admirable trait from my dad. Well then, if you want to follow me. Emily turns her hair fluttering and slips to the graveyard like a shadow. I follow her, curious yet cautious, as she leads me behind the church, where the trees are thicker and there are even more graves. She draws my attention to a tombstone, just one tombstone of many. It juts out of the grass like a tooth from a gun, slightly crooked. A few cracks run down its dark grey sides, and the top of the grave is fringed with pale yellow lichen. The name engraved in the tombstone is difficult to see, impressed only shallowly and written in a cursive hand that makes my eyes hurt. And explore the graveyards of Lincolnshire in my youth for nothing for, and I'm more skilled than most teenagers when it comes to reading inscriptions on gravestones. Here lies the body of Philip Burns, 1807-1851, also Perdita Burns, wife of the above, 1811-1851, also Emmeline Burns, baby daughter, 1836-1851. May their souls rest in peace. So, she is dead after all, I guess. Let's hear the story then. I shift, suddenly uncomfortable. Graveyards don't usually make me uncomfortable, but there is something about this tombstone that struck a discordant note within me. Something here just isn't right. They all died on the same year? They did indeed, and all on the same day too. I turn away from the grave, the final remnant of the unfortunate Burns family, and bite my lower lip. When I next speak, my voice is but a whisper, even quieter than the wind. How do you know that? It's just a story. I already told you that. I suppose, but when Emily said it didn't sound like a story. She sounded deadly serious. She looks serious too. Her eyes are narrowed, her lips pursed, her face stark white, as fog carved from stone. The fog swirls about us like a veil. It's even thicker than it was earlier this morning. I can taste the fog at the back of my throat when I inhale, and I cough. It tastes cold, wrong, and repulsive. The taste of death. Just who is Emily anyway? She doesn't look like any girl I know. She doesn't act like any girl I know. I'm almost tempted to believe, but that would be ridiculous, wouldn't it? So, should I tell you my story? I must warn you, for it is rather dull. Then again, given our setting, what other kind of story could it be? You should already know how it ends. Yeah. True. Alright, actually let's leave the story for the next episode because it might be a long one as well, so see you then. Bye.